Hello and welcome to MoReece J TV, and shout out to the MOGANG and everyone that rides with the MOGANG, such as people like Clover Squad and the real McCoy Reacts, Noble Nation, and Pug Mama, my wife, Ashley. Shout out Ashley. everybody, Beth. Trying to think of some names. Beth, Million Mile, me trying to remember something, guys. Me trying to remember things. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to all of you. You know who you are. So guys, we've got another Factor 50 one here. Now, I absolutely love Factor 50 right now. You know, Factor 50's got some fire tracks, but that Terminator track absolutely killed it. Quite a few reactors out there are absolutely loving that track, Terminator. But I also want to dip into this one. This one's an older one. I've deliberately stayed away from it. I've only heard bits and pieces. I've deliberately not listened to the track because I really want to get the full picture for this reaction. I want to really, you know, take it in right now. And Factor 50 tells me this is a very deep one. It goes, you know, dips into a certain period, a difficult period in his life, on a friendship level. So I got a feeling this one is going to be one of them tracks that you know that will probably get you thinking, maybe get you in a certain, you know, frame of mind. So I know the only clip that I saw was that I've heard of this track was I clicked a piece of Sack Juggalo's reaction to it, and the bit that I clicked, Sack looked like he was really feeling the bit lyrics, and that was what made me think, right, I'm not going to go and listen to the track. I'm going to wait. And I know a few of the fans that I that I speak to have told me that they have listened to this, and it is fire as hell. It's absolutely fire as hell. So we're going to check it out. It's Factor 50 Retrospect, guys. Without further ado, let's go.
As good as it's gonna get. If you could travel back into retrospect, would you have took more and given less? Would you still play your force?
Oh my god, yeah, I see where this is going. If you was to look back into retrospect, would you take more or given less? Good question. I probably would have done a ton of things differently, personally. If I just look back, depends what I'm looking back on, you know.
Would you second guess? Would you still play the fool just to get respect? Would you doubt your own dreams and your intellect? Or would you focus more on you and forget the rest? I've never been the guy that wants to swallow his pride.
Let me roll that back.
Given less, would you still play your thoughts? Would you second guess? Would you still play the fool just to get respect? Would you doubt your own dreams and your intellect? Or
would you still play the fool to get respect? Would you doubt your own dreams? Definitely wouldn't play the fool to get respect. Definitely wouldn't have done that again. I think we've all done that, especially as men, especially as males. You know, the thing that, just think of all the messed up things you've done, you know, just because one person might come up and fist bump you and say, that was fire, man. That was lit. You know, like, it's a tough one. Definitely wouldn't have done that. Would I have doubted my own dreams? Hell nah. That's probably one of my biggest regrets. I was good at a lot of stuff that I feel like it's too late to go back and do now. And it's probably not. I'm only in my 30s, my mid-30s. So, you know, I probably could pick up where I left off, but I don't know, it's a tough one, my guy.
You focus more on you and forget the rest. I've never been the guy that wants to swallow his pride, but every now and then I try and toss it aside. There has to be a point you step back and reflect and learn a lesson or two when you look into retrospect.
Pride is a powerful one, because I'm a very pride person, you know. I care about my pride, and then if someone attacks my pride, I can act very irrationally. I can act very irrationally if I feel my pride's been hit. I think that was, as Factor 50 will know very well, I think that's a lot to do with where I grew up. He comes from the same place, so I know pride has been a big thing throughout my life. It's been a big cause of my problems, but it's also been a big reason, the basis around my morals. And I believe I've got some very good morals because of that pride. So it's a tough one. But when you look back into, as he says, retrospect, I have learned a lot of lessons. You know, I've learned a lot of lessons, like how to deal with certain situations, you know. So I deal with situations probably a lot differently now than I used to. I used to just fly off the fucking handle. Like now I still fly off the handle, but it's a more of controlled aggression than it is animalistic behaviour that I used to be like.
Accept it and learn a lesson from retrospect. When a friend makes a switch to an enemy, especially the ones you once considered a remedy, you're in a dodgy position.
Oh, how would you feel when a friend switches to an enemy? Somebody that you used to consider a remedy. Wow. Huge experience in that. Huge experience in that. People that I used to turn with. I mean, I've got a handful that have been had my back from day one, and they still have. And the same applies, you know, vice versa. And it's weird because those friends are friends I don't speak to every day. I probably speak to, sometimes I can go a year without speaking to them. And when I do, it's as if we've just picked up where we left off. They're the real ones. You know, you don't hear from them, but then when you're in a bit of trouble, you hear from them constantly until you're out of trouble. I've also had friends that I thought were like that until it comes to, you know, me doing something they don't like or don't agree with, or vice versa. And then suddenly it's like they say that love-hate relationship, it quickly turns to hate, and then you cringe when you think of that person, or they cringe when they think of you, and then it's like firing missiles at each other for a long time, and in the end the best thing to do is to part ways.
I mean, like you and everything, but they don't want to know, so it fucks with you mentally. Do you run the course hoping something will jog up their memory, or do you add a little spy and try and tear up their legacy and imbalance brain chemically?
That's exactly what I'm saying about when I was saying about the missiles. He said, do you want to tear up their legacy? And it gets like that. I mean, I've had that situation. I've had a good friend who I rocked with every day, and I got him a job at where I worked, and all of a sudden he just wanted to. I said one thing he didn't like, he flew off the handle, and he wanted to destroy my whole job. He got me suspended for no reason. I was going down a dark path for no reason. Things were going on in my head because of what this guy was like, you know. And in the end, my way of getting back at him was like literally, you know, doing some. I got arrested a few times for some of the things I did back. It's a tough thing to go through, because like losing a friend, or especially when it's on that level, it's like, it's almost like you lost a family member. It's like you go through that. emotional roller coaster, and you go through so many different thoughts of anger, upset, regret, everything, and you start to reflect. And then I believe this is why he's saying, look back in retrospect, you've got to learn from it. You know, don't base your whole, don't sit there and keep thinking of what you would have done differently. Just take that knowledge and apply it to the future, the now, the present and the future. You can't do nothing about what's happened, but you can map out the future. So you use those life lessons and apply them from then onwards.
Gonna show you no empathy, especially when they're convinced you're the problem. Bad energy, a bad investment, acting like you stolen cash, molested. A friend requested, block, delete, numbers not connected. It's got pathetic when it's not the thing that you expected. You showed support when nobody else was even interested. I guess it's always been shit.
Yeah, you show support when no one else is interested. That's a bar. Because 9 times out of 10, like those people that were your close friends, you did go, you know, bend over backwards and go over and beyond, you know, to gas them up, or, you know, show them support. And, you know, I mean, I've had people sleep on my sofas because their girlfriend's thrown them out, or, you know, they've thrown a few bucks in their direction because, you know, red letters are coming through their door. All sorts of things, you know. You see they get in trouble with somebody, and instead of, like, you know, trying to find out who's wrong or who's right, you immediately take the side of that friend to get yourself inside of the beef, you know, and end up, you don't even know why you're beefing. You just know that your friend's got beef, so anyone's got beef with him, you got beef with them too, and you go and have his back. That's how it used to roll anyway. Like, I don't know if it works that way these days, but yeah, I mean, just like I said, you know, you've supported those people, but then when it comes to supporting you, is it the same? This is where you learn stuff, because you think, are you going to have my back like I had yours? Are you going to support me like I support you?
She fakes, they pick it up, then they mush that freaking shit in your face, laughing their ass off as they're quickly scooting away. Fuck them off, promise you won't let it happen again, forget them.
Yeah. That's kind of what happened with me, actually, as well, with the guy I got a job for. You know, you do everything for them. When it's their turn, they just, like, you know, it's like they said, throw shit in your face. You know, just because they might not like one particular thing you might have said or done. Instead of talking to you, sitting you down and going, look, you know, having a discussion with you as a friend, you know, as two geezers. You know what I'm saying? Like, strange. Not everybody's as loyal as you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might have a loyalty to someone, and as friendly as they are, the loyalty is not returned.
So this is it, if this is as good as it's gonna get. If you could travel back into retrospect, would you have took more and given less? Would you still play your fool, or would you second guess? Would you still play the fool just to get respect? Would you doubt your own dreams and your intellect? Or would you focus more on you and forget the rest? I've never been the guy that wants to swallow his pride, but every now and then I try and toss it aside. There has to be a point where you step back and reflect and learn a lesson or two when you look into retrospect. Over the years, you learn some valuable lessons. Some disguised as a curse, the others dressed as a blessing. The ones that define who you are.
Oh, that's a bar. So over the years, you learn some valuable lessons. Some disguised as a curse, some dressed as a blessing. So some of the people that you think are not your friends actually turn out to be the ones that, you know, probably done you more for you. Disguised as a curse. You think they're bad. Like, you know, sometimes, like, you'd be arguing with family members or other friends because they're trying to get you to do something you don't want to do. And then you look back and think, no, actually they was helping me, but I didn't listen to them. And then the ones dressed as a blessing, those are the ones that say they're your friends, are with you every day, communicate with you every day. But actually, they couldn't give two damns about you. You know, they couldn't care less. And they eventually show their colours. And you just got to sit there and hope that the ones that you thought were bad, you thought were the curse, you got to hope they're still sitting there, you know, so you can go and tell them that they was right.
Watch suppressing beneath the surface, they arise in your own therapy session. You can air them to the world or leave them burning in the basement, but in the end, it only puts a strain on limitations, the things you can achieve.
Yeah, you can, like, and I have in the past, very recently in fact, won't get into that, where you just air out everything just to hurt that person. But in the end, it just puts more strain on you. Just get you get so much. It just becomes a war zone. So you are best off just focusing on you. Just move forward.
You push your imagination is amazing. You'll outdo all their expectations. I don't mean to preach or even act like I'm a sort of mystic. I just like to teach experiences to keep you optimistic. But there's a characteristic missing when you peer from the distance. You take your facts you live in and compare them to the fiction. You find yourself wishing on the things you think you.
Oh, that's a bar. Take the facts you're living. You take the facts you're living and compare them to a fiction. This relates to what I was talking about in my speech that I put on the end of my biscuit reaction, when I said you got to make sure that whatever goals you have or whatever you're reaching for, your dreams, needs to be realistic. Because if you start to compare your life now with an unrealistic goal or unrealistic achievement that you're aiming for, something that you're never going to get, it's never going to happen, you know, then you're going to have some serious problems with finding happiness and finding peace. And that's a bar. That's a bar. Don't ever compare your life to a fiction. Don't compare your life full stop, really. You know, because the minute because what you do is you start to devalue yourself. Like if I was to start to compare my life to Bill Gates, I'll feel like an ultimate failure. But then if I start to compare my life to somebody who's living on the street, I'll start to feel like an absolute godsend success. Never compare. You have to value everything you got in your life. You have to learn as much as you can and apply what you've learned into the future in order to take those steps to your achievements. And your achievements have got to be realistic and achievable. Fire.
Missing friends become enemies, then they become the competition. So add them to your list to make it part of your mission to prove them wrong. If you got a list of
yeah, and that's the best way you can hit someone back. If somebody wants to put you down, doubt you, you know, call you this, that and the third, you can fight them all day long. You can change their views. Because that's what we fight for, right? To challenge what they're thinking, what they're saying, what they're doing to you. That's what we're fighting for, right? But you don't change anything. You just create more animosity, more problems, and it becomes a feud that never ends. But if you just like draw up the whole thing, move on, focus on where you was and where you want to get to, just keep achieving, and then eventually you start getting across those stepping stones, start getting to the point that you were aiming for. Remember, they can see that, and that hurts them more because you've proved them wrong. You've hit them. You know what they was trying to tell you was a fiction. You're making a fact now.
keep stacking them up, using that as motivation when you're trapped in the mud. If they got a can of worms, let them open it up, put some salt in their wounds and fucking sew it back shut. One thing that they hate is seeing you do.
If you've got a can of worms, let them open it. I'm going to put a salt in their wound and he's going to sew it up. That's painful.
Something you love, always do yourself, let them keep on holding that grudge. Never feed the man as swipes when you fucking pack lunch, cause even with clean hands, they still mash up your grub. The truth is that it's never totally far from the facts. My experience of the past, like they'll always come back. Like, goddamn man, that time, you remember that? So this is it, if this is it.
That's pain, man. He literally just vented there, you know, talking about, you know, those past events, the way that that this person's made him feel, you know, it makes you want to fight, it makes you want to hurt back because you're hurting, you know, like, and it's easy to fire shots. And it can be satisfying to fire shots at the time. But the best way you can do that is to just keep gunning for that success. And then just look back and just say, look at me now. Look at me now, the person that you let down. The person that you doubted. The person that you know. Sorry, my lizard's going crazy. The person that you know, that you once rocked with that person, and now they're like, you know, there's hatred there, and it's easy to just completely go off the scale on them. But the real killer punch is achieving what they doubted you'd ever achieve. That's the real killer punch.
As good as it's gonna get. If you could travel back into retrospect, would you have took more and given less? Would you play your first thoughts or would you second guess? Would you still play the fool just to get respect? Would you doubt your own dreams and your intellect? Or would you focus more on you and forget the rest? I've never been the guy that wants to swallow his pride, but every now and then I try and toss it aside. There has to be a point where you step back and reflect and learn a lesson or two when you're looking into retrospect. Accept it and learn a lesson from retrospect. Retrospect.
Missiles. That was a deep track. That was a deep track. You know, it got me thinking about of all of the people that I've had issues with. Some of that I've still got issues with today. Not so much issues, but we ain't spoken for a long time. You know, and a lot was said, a lot was done. But then you just learn to move on, I suppose. You learn to move on, and you learn to take that experience to be more cautious in the future. Make sure everybody in your circle is as real as they say they are. You know, only show love where love has been shown. I believe I said that to someone recently, or I said something like that, and then they turn it into a little quote. And yeah, only show love where love has been shown. Yeah, it's important. You know, it's very important. And another little quote that I put out there for a friend recently, a friend that was going through a tough time, was don't let your past, what was it I said? Don't let your past affect your present. And don't let your present dictate to your future. So by that I mean, you know, when you look back on your past, it's your past. Your present is not your past. Your present is now. And if now you're in an absolute pile of shit, don't let that dictate to your future. Just because you're in the shit now doesn't mean you're always going to be in the shit. Just keep grinding, keep moving. And if you fall out with people, you fall out with people. If you lose loved ones, you lose loved ones. It's not nice, but it's not something that you need to base your whole life on. We're only here for a short minute, a very short minute. And sometimes, you know, I often think to myself, as much as I hate bad times, if I didn't have bad times, would I value good times? Probably not. How would you define good times? How would you define positive if you didn't have bad times and negative? We'd have no different way of differentiating. So we need to go through, you know, these experiences in order to be able to see the value and have the desire for positive. Guys, make sure you go check out the original upload for Factor 50 Retrospect. The link will be in the description below. Please go show him some love, leave him a comment, let him know MoGang sent you. You've been watching MoReece J TV, and I thank you for watching MoReece J TV. And don't forget, go check out my Lyrical Assassins. I'll leave the IG and the Twitter name so you can go follow us. There's some fire artists over there. Also, go check out my hip hop shop, which is on Facebook. I'll leave a link in the description for that. All of our Lyrical Assassins music gets posted in the hip hop shop, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, wherever. So go check that out. We do have an Eminem shop that's currently closed. We are dealing with it. I'll let you know once it's back up and running. If you want to get yourself a MoReece J TV t-shirt from Teespring store, I'll leave a link to my Teespring store in the description below. We've got our Mo Vaseline line of merch over there, so go check that out. We've also got our Lyrical Assassins line of merch over there, so go check that out. And any big Eminem fans, go join my group on Facebook, Eminem Rap God. Type that in on Facebook, go join that group over there, we'll take care of you. There are a number of groups now called Eminem Rap God. I was the first, just thought I'd put that out there. But there's now a number. If you can't find the one which is mine, just hit me up in DMs and I'll send you a link. So guys, you've been watching MoReece J TV, and I'll catch you again in a little bit. Take care, guys.